Hi, this is your help video for 1.1a, solving one-step equations. So I'm going to click right here and let's see, we've got a little short help video from Khan Academy. We also have the link to the quiz. Click that and let's start. First one, z plus 2 equals 11. Another way to read this would be some secret number. I've thought of a number. I'm not going to tell you what number. Some number I'm thinking of. If you add 2 to it, will get you 11. Now, most students that I work with can look at that problem and say, oh, it's 9. And of course it is 9. So let's think about why is it 9 though. Let's prove it, because as the problems get harder, you can't just look at it and see. So let's take this easy one and understand it a little better. So the algebra method is to say you can do anything you want so long as you do it to both sides of the equal sign. So here's like a dividing line, and you can do anything you want so long as you do it to both sides of the equal sign. So let's say, what do we want to do? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to get the z by itself. See here, I want the z by itself. So in order to get the z by itself, I have to get rid of this plus 2. The plus 2 is what's preventing us from having the answer that we want. So to get rid of the plus 2, we need to do its opposite. If it's a plus 2, we need to get rid of it by doing a subtract 2. Why? Because 2 minus 2 is 0. So that makes this part go away. Now, go back to the main rule of algebra. The number one rule of algebra is you can do anything you want as long as you do it to both sides of the equal sign. So because I chose to do subtract 2 on the left, I just picked that. I said, I want to subtract 2 because that will make this side nice. Well, I can do that, but then I have to do it over here. I have to do it on both sides of the equal sign. So now I have 11 minus 2 is 9. So let's see what we have. Now, what happened to the z? Well, the z is still there. The z didn't go anywhere. So we still have the z. We have plus 0. But do we have to write plus 0? No. In fact, let's get rid of the 0. And then that we still have the equal sign. So we have z is equal to 9, which is what you saw to begin with. So you might say, Albertson, this is confusing, right? Like I tried to learn this in 6th grade, 7th grade. I got confused. My teacher didn't help me. I stopped going to school, whatever your reasons. I didn't learn this, and so I'd rather just look at it and not worry about this. I got to tell you, you're going to need this when the problems get harder, and you can do it. You can learn this. So stay with me, and let's go on to the next one. Oh, I got to erase all this stuff. Let's try the next one. So this one says 12 is equal to 6 plus some number r. So let's read this in more kind of easy to understand language. My number plus 6 is 12. I have a secret hidden number. Plus 6 is 12. So what plus 6 is 12? Well, probably 6 plus 6 is 12. Oh, I'm just unlocking. Oh. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So let's take our number here. We have 6 plus, let's back up. So we have 12 equals 6 plus r. And let's put our equal sign bar down here. And what do we want to do? We want to get rid of this 6. Now, here's what a lot of students do. A lot of students say, oh, I'm just going to subtract the 12. Well, you can, but why? Why are you subtracting the 12? Are you just picking a random number because you don't know what to do? Probably. So instead of just picking a random number, slow down and think about what number really needs to move. And the number that really needs to move is the 6 so that the r is by itself. So yes, you could subtract 12, but why would you? That doesn't help us any. We want to move the numbers that are on the same side of the equal sign as the letter so that the letter is left alone by itself. So because this is a 6 plus r, it's added to r, I'm going to subtract the 6 from both sides. That's the opposite of adding. So those go to 0, and that leaves me with 6 is equal to r. And that is, of course, our answer because 6 plus 6 is 12. Let's erase some of this stuff and let's try another one. Remember, you can pause the video at any time. You can back up, all those things. Let's try number 3. So this one says, this is a little trickier, y minus 8 is equal to 5. So my secret number, if you take away 8, is equal to 5. First thing I would think about is my answer is going to have to be bigger than 5. Has to be bigger than 5 because I have to take 8 away to get to 5. In other words, let's say this is money. I have a secret amount of money. If you take away $8 from me, then I'll have $5 left. You took away $8 and I have $5 left. Now, some of you can already see the answer coming, but let's use our algebra. Let's do plus 8 on both sides. And if we add 8 on both sides, those goes away. So we have y is equal to 13. Sure enough. Now, what if you get this wrong? What if you put in 12? Right, it turns red, but you look up here, you have 99 tries on this question remaining. So just do it over again. Don't panic, don't quit, just do it over again. You can look here and see which ones you've done. Let's just look for a harder one here. How about this one? I moved on to question 5. This one says 7n is equal to 14. This will require a little more talking here. So 7n is equal to 14. Boy, I wish I could draw with a stylus or something instead of a mouse. All right. So first of all, what do we mean by 7n? Like what's going on between the 7 and the n? Is it add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Add, oh, you can't see that. Is it add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Well, it doesn't show any of those symbols. So let's think about what is it not? Well, it's not divide because divide would look like 7 over n. That's how you'd show divide, is you'd have this bar right here. So it's not divide. Is it times? Well, I don't know. Let's come back to that. Is it subtract? No, because if it was subtract, it'd be 7 minus n. There would be a minus there, so it's not subtract. Is it plus? No, because then it would be 7 plus n. So the only one it can be is times. Now let's talk about why is it times. Times looks like an x, doesn't it? Like this symbol right here, it looks like an x. So if we put an x right here, it would look like 7xn. And you would say, well, which one's the letter? Is it the X or the N? So that's confusing. So instead of putting an X there, we don't in high school. And instead, we just smash them together if they're a number and a letter. So this is 7 times n. You could also put a dot there. That would work. But 7n. So how do we undo multiplication? Now that we know it's multiplication, how do you undo multiplication? Well, divide. Divide is the opposite of multiply. So let's divide by 7 because 7 divided by 7, in other words, how many 7s go into 7? Well, how many 7s go into 7? 1. 1, 7. So you have 1n is equal to, how many 7s go into 14? 2. So you have 1n equals 2. Well, this is 1n as well. 1n is equal to 2. That means n is equal to 2. All right. Let's try this one. This one says, my secret number, if you divide it into 3 piles, will give you 3 in each pile. Sorry, if you divide it into 9 piles, we'll give you 3 in each pile. I think I said that wrong. So that's a little confusing. So let's kind of write this out. V over 9 is equal to 3. First, this is division, right? See, this is the division sign. The division sign looks like a fraction, just like this. There's something on top, something on the bottom, and this bar right here. And that's what this is. This is a bar with something on top and something on the bottom. So this is division. So how do you undo division? Well, you multiply. So I'm going to choose to multiply by 9 on both sides. How many 9s go into 9? 1. And so we have 1v, which is just v, is equal to 9 times 3, which is 27, because 27 divided by 9 is 3. There we go. Let's type it in there and show you that it works. Bam. Okay. Let's take this one. This one might confuse a few people. And this one says, notice your numbers might be different. Probably are. A plus 5 is equal to 1. So what do I do? I probably should subtract 5 from both sides. Cool. So 1 is equal to 4. Some people are going to put 4, but that's not right. Oh, that's weird. Stuff moved around. So it's not 4. Why is it not 4? Well, this was 1. Wow, this all got messed up. So this is 1 minus 5. And 1 minus 5 is a negative 4. 1 minus 5 is a negative 4. Right. Oh, we have to talk about this one. Lots of people have questions on this one. So this one says negative m is equal to 6. Let's say that differently. This says the opposite of my number is 6. Think about opposites. So here you have 0. Here you have 2. What's the opposite of 2? Negative 2. What do we mean by opposites? We mean a number that if you add it to its opposite makes 0. A number where if you add it to its opposite makes 0. So 2 and negative 2 are opposites. What are some other opposites? I'm sure you can think of lots. How about 6 and negative 6? Ooh, let's get a little trickier. What if we did x? What would the opposite of x be? Negative x, right? Right? Okay, so this says the opposite of m is 6. So that must mean m is equal to negative 6, right? So in other words, I need this one to become its opposite, so this one has to also become its opposite. You have to go back to the main rule of algebra. You do the same thing to both sides. So if the left side is turning into its opposite, the right side is turning into its opposite. We can say this another couple ways. You could also think of this as multiplying this side by negative 1, and you could multiply this side by negative 1. That's a perfectly fine way to think about it. So this minus times minus is plus, and minus times positive is minus. Some of you will like that explanation better. Some of you will like the opposites explanation better. They both work. It's really the same idea. It's just described in a different way. All right. I'm going to wipe all this off, and let's see if there's any tricky ones left. Thanks for being patient with me. There we go. I don't have to get all those little dots, I guess. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, I think you can do these. So I'm going to leave those to you, and let me know if you have questions.